What up, Dodgers Nation? We're back with Mr. Jose Mota. Your guy, you asked for him, you got him. Jose, thanks for rocking with this one, man.
Always good to see you, man. It seems like every time we talk, some good things start rolling. Even during the bad times, and things kind of turn around.
Exactly. We turned Julio's career around, man. We turned his year around, man. We had that conversation. He's looked like the guy once again. But I want to start with Lance Lynn, because Lance Lynn, the change of scenery, you're seeing the pitch mix a little different, more curveballs, more fastballs, not getting up the home run ball anymore. What have you seen from him so far in Dodger Blue?
I see a guy that's pretty much good old country ball, man. It's like, here's my fastball. Let me go out there and use it and fill the zone. I'm going to give up the home run, so what? But also seeing a guy that, people didn't give him enough credit as to how smart he is pitching-wise. He can take the fastball and run on four seam upstairs and downstairs. Then he'll take the cutter and show it to the righties and lefties. And then he throws a lot of ground balls, actually. He gets a ground ball when he needs to and gets a lot of double plays. So I see a guy that knows how to use his fastball. Now, with the input he's getting here from Pryor McGinnis, it's like, here's what we got, here's who you were, and I think he can be a little bit better. I love guys at 36 years old can come in here and understand that this is a little different. He's gone through the grind before. This guy's been in playoffs before as a youngster, but he knows what it takes in this ballpark, in this group, in this culture to go out there and get it done. As you mentioned, spinning the ball has been quite efficiently, and what he's missing too is even more important to me because he's missing down a lot, on the dirt a lot. Confidence in his catchers plays a big role, and there's no doubt that that sweeper plays quite well because he knows exactly how to pace it, where to start it, where to get the swing and miss, and understands how to set up hitters.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up because, I mean, the pitch mix is a little different, but it feels to me like it's a combination of things. Change of scenery, playing in front of a sold-out Dodger Stadium crowd. A guy, like you said, multi-time All-Star, has gone Cy Young votes. This is not someone that just a Johnny-come-lately guy. He's had success in his league. Do you envision him getting some big postseason starts, though?
Of course. I only base that on experience and the fact that the guy has some drive, man. He's got some dog in him. And I think Lance Lynn's a guy that if you say, hey, there's no pitch limit, he's going to go, oh, thank you. I can go 140. I can go 130, And I like the mentality of him being able to kind of put things behind where they were in Chicago and just fitting into the environment, the culture, and having enough stuff that if you put him in any kind of playoff situation against any lineup, he's going to figure out a way. But the one thing he's not going to do, Dougie, he's not going to run away from the zone, which is admirable.
Yeah, look, challenge guys. He's got that grit. You see him go off the mound, dropping F-bombs, and talking crazy. I think this team is absolutely re-energized him on so many levels. Great to see the success he's had early on, a 1.44 ERA in 4 starts. We got to talk about a guy, Julio Urias, because struggled early in the year. He was dealing with injuries, but he looks locked in. The fastball command is back. What do you see from Julio lately?
Julio's got that look again of saying, you know what, enough is enough. I need to go out there and just be Julio Urias, the guy that he knows and understands that there's always more in the tank. Julio in his career in the month of August is unbelievable, something like 16-2. So you know that historically there's always a little extra in him. And I think, honestly, there's a little more extra this season because he missed all those starts due to the leg injury. But Julio also knows that the basic thing he needs to do is not chase velocity, not chase strikeouts, even though he did quite well last time out. But with that, he concentrates on filling the zone and also sequencing better even off the zone, finishing his changeup. The finish for him is so important because, as Fernando always says, you got to make every single arm action look the same, from his slurve to his fastball to his changeup. And Julio also, there's a little extra in him because he knows that with a time miss is when the rotation was not doing quite well. And I think he takes a lot of responsibility on saying, I am back now. We have the whole staff completed now, and my stuff is as good as ever. I know the one thing he did was he altered a little bit his in-between start routines, and he went back to the towel. The towel is something they use for so many years in the minors, even in Mexico, and just saying, I need that towel to just remind me of my drive, my mechanics, and to be aligned. But I think it's so nice that he forgot about velocity, but when he needs it, in 93 with him, sometimes plays like 98.
Exactly, with the spin, with the way he induces soft contact, and you're seeing a guy that he's determined. He's a competitor, I think, too, because mechanically he looks more consistent. It feels like, to me, he was not close to being 100% healthy. He looks like his conditioning's better. He looks like he's healthy. I think he's going to be a guy that the Dodgers are going to absolutely count on either game 1 or 2 of that NLDS. But Bobby Miller, I think you see the progress. This month he's been outstanding. You're seeing the tunneling, that electric fastball. This guy is just an absolute stud. Do you think he sustains this heading into the postseason? What kind of role do you envision for him and for this team?
I would give Bobby Miller the ball in game 1 if that's needed. Just like that, because I know he's going to go out there and fight. He's got that fighter mentality. He's got the mentality of, I don't want to come out of a game. He doesn't look at the bullpen. He doesn't look at the dugout. He's like, next pitch, what do I need to do? You know what I love too? Is that Bobby is not caught up in the swings and misses, which we know with time is going to get better. But if you look at his velocity and his stuff, the swings and misses kind of don't match everything right now, but he's just starting. Swings and misses are a product not only velocity, but setting up a guy, and you mentioned the tunnels, in that situation where you know a guy can go out there and give you a little bit of trouble if you stay in one zone and one level, even a 101 or 99. But I'm glad he doesn't chase the strikeouts, because eventually they will come. Pitching inside, against righties especially, is going to be something that he needs to improve on. 288 last time against righties before the last start. To me, that's a little too comfortable. Righties need to feel a little bit more uncomfortable, but there's nothing this guy needs in order to go out there and win games. He takes a mound like Clayton Kershaw and Urias. They don't go out there and give you a quality start. He goes out there to give you a win, and if it takes 5 innings, 6 or 7, he's ready.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Possible game 1 starter. He's another guy, has the dog, has the electric stuff, commanding 5 pitches. His ceiling is so high. The sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's going to have a big impact for this team. Speaking of split change, you saw Clayton Kershaw throwing that in the game. This is a guy, elite slider, fastball, command, curveball. Now adding a 4th pitch, that split change. Do you think this is something that's significant? Do you think that's something that he's going to move forward and add to his arsenal?
Oh, why not? I mean, he threw it 4 times, 2 starts ago, 6 times last start, and I actually went back and looked at the TV, and I'm like, I got to freeze that, and I saw the grip, and I'm like, wait a minute, it is a changeup. He stays right on top of it. That's one thing for Kersh. Nothing changes in terms of his approach to the home plate. It mechanically stays the same. It's a pitch that he's going to go on feel, in my understanding, because of who he is, and he knows he's got such a great feel for his fastball and his slider that if this pitch isn't going to get him into trouble, he doesn't have it, he doesn't need to throw it. I mean, it's fastball and curveball and slider are just enough, but it's good to have that one pitch in a game where perhaps the opponent's not waiting for it. They're going to look at charts and going, oh, he throws at 0.5% of the time, but before you know it, you might float something in there to get yourself an early out, and it's there for you.
Yeah, it shows the evolution. It shows that he's committed to getting better. I mean, that's just unfair. Another pitch to keep hitters off balance, like Thanos getting more Infinity Stones, right? But one thing I want to ask you too, Jose, is this team, 42 games to play. Now they're on pace to win over 100 games. They're going to run away with the division. What are you looking for from this team as the season winds down to really give them the best chance of having success in the postseason?
Take care of today, and I think this team, as much respect and 111 wins from last year, but I see this team with a different mentality. I think Freddie Freeman has a lot to do with this. And it's pretty much every inning, every third of a game, every last part of a game, from lineup broken into 3 pieces, there's a way in which they're grinding it out at bats. This team is really good at beating bullpens. If you look at the different arms they see and how much opposing managers want to match up their best arms against the Dodgers, it just hasn't played out because they have the mentality of whatever happened in the 5th inning, don't bring it to the 7th inning. That's why I want to continue to see that. I want to see that all throughout the season, the rest of the season, into the playoffs. And also this team on the offensive side, which is where they came up real short last season in October, has the ability, leading the league in sack flies. They're not going to bunt a whole lot, which doesn't matter, but they put the ball in play. Look at the last month or so, the ability to go out there and have productive outs and move guys around and then take the walk. As pitchers get tired, go August, September, well, you don't need to help them out. And I think the mentality, because they walk so much and then capitalize on those walks, is there's no need to go out there and swing the bat. Don't play for the numbers anymore, but keep the grind going all the way through because you want to keep momentum going into the playoffs by doing what you're doing so far this season.
Yeah, and you talk about those additions too. Kiké's back. He's been a revelation. He's been outstanding with the Dodgers. Rosario, he's played well. He's even improved defensively. What do you see from these additions? Do you think they're going to play a key role as well?
Oh, they already are, and I think we consider that these are names that people are like, what? Who they got? Rosario, Kiké, why? You know, Lynn, Joe Kelly. They're all doing a fantastic job. I mean, Yarbrough, that's just guys that fit in, and that's why you create a culture, and you don't necessarily go for the biggest name. A lot of times you don't get it because the other team's asking for the world, like Bobby Miller and company. But when you look at studying personalities, characters, and how your team is built, this team, from Dave Roberts up to the front office, do the best job I've seen in many years in making sure that a guy fits a need. Now, championship teams have veteran benches, backup players, but backup players that understand their role and not, I'm going to be knocking on the manager's door saying, how come I'm not playing? These guys stay ready. For Ahmed Rosario is a big adjustment because he's always been an everyday player. Now he's playing a little second base and shortstop. This guy, one of the strong guys on the team. He's a fast guy. So to me, all these are assets. Considering that, if you consider that you might go on piggybacking later in September to get guys some rest, you got ideals candidates to do that and give your starters some rest, give your bullpen some rest. But you consider Michael Grove's going to come back. You consider Ryan Yarbrough is going to come in after an opener and give you some innings out of the bullpen, and then everything else matches up much nicely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that take. And I think you look at this line. You also got David Peralta, Hayward, so many guys that are capable of coming up and getting the big hit. Veteran leadership is so excited for the postseason. Last question, though. The MVP race, Freddie Freeman is closing in on Ron Acuna Jr. We know the stolen base. He has the advantage. Look at WARs. Look at all the numbers. Look at the doubles. Do you think that Freddie should win MVP? Make the case for Freddie Freeman, or do you think this is Acuna's award?
I think we're going to make the case for him because we watch Freddie every day. Freddie doesn't take a play off. Freddie is a factor on the bases, running the bases, the stolen base, defensively positioning and scooping some balls off the ground for his infielders. On top of that, Freddie likes to take the extra base. Freddie likes to go first to third, or second to home, and home to second base to get the extra base against second base. But man, I'm biased because I get to see this every single day. And you talk about value to a team, Acuna's having a sensational year. He's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the dynamic presence in him. But what Freddie brings every single day, man, it's just unmatched, especially because he doesn't like to rest. And Freddie, when 0 for 4, will do something during that game, even when I bat. They could change things around, and that's why I'm leaning, of course, towards our guy, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, a little biased. It's okay. I mean, I wouldn't be furious if it went to Acuna Jr. He's having a fantastic season, but you look what Freddie's able to do for this team. I don't think this team is close to where they're at without Freddie, even defensively. Some of the big plays he's made recently. Also, he has a higher stolen base percentage than Ron Acuna Jr., so we'll really try to goose the narrative on that one. But yeah, hey, they're close. I mean, 4 games. They have a series with them starting late this month. If they catch them, who knows? But the most important thing is a Dodger wins the World Series MVP, whether that be Freddie or Mookie, whoever it may be. But Jose, we appreciate the time. You can follow Jose Mota. I'll drop his handle down below on the artist formerly known as Twitter. It's called X now, and Instagram. So go follow Jose Mota. He's the man. Listen to him. He's on the broadcast. This guy, he's forgotten more baseball than most people will ever know. But Jose, thank you so much for joining us today, my man.
Always for you, man.
All right, sweet, man.
Got it.